Welcome to my latest rundown of the best indie games coming out this month. October sees the release of some long-awaited heavy hitters as well as some more unusual games, so let's get stuck in. First up for this month is Kill Knight, an ultra-responsive arcade isometric action shooter. The fast and visceral action is married with a neon art style that brings to mind arcade classics of the past. The action can get pretty crazy at times, but you have a varied arsenal of weapons at your disposal to dispatch the hordes of enemies. It's unusual in this day and age to get a straight-up arcade shooter. Personally, I am a big fan of these type of games, as the mayhem these titles provide allows for a honing of your skills and a sense of satisfaction when you manage to make it through what seems like impossible odds. Hopefully, this title can stand alongside other arcade greats. Kill Knight releases on all the consoles and PC October 2nd. Next up is immersive first-person dungeon crawler RPG Monomyth, a title that I first became aware of via a really fun demo a few years back. Taking inspiration from classic Elder Scrolls games with a bit of immersive sim thrown in, you enter the open-ended world of the fortress city of Lysandra to recover a primeval seed in the hopes of saving the dying world of Ariath. Featuring a classless progression system, a highly interactable world, and action-packed combat, it ticks all the boxes in terms of what you would want from this type of game. Making such an interconnected and open-ended world such as this though is a tough task, so let's hope developers Rat Tower are up to the task and are able to fulfill the promise this game has. Monomyth comes to Steam Early Access October 3rd. Our next title is a sequel to one of the best roguelikes of the last few years, so it has big boots to fill. Wizards of Legend 2 sees the series change developers with Dead Mage, they of Children of Mortar fame, taking the reins. The sequel sensibly follows the original's idea of mixing elements together to make your own spells, but you can see the influence that Hades has had on the genre bleed into this follow-up, with a similar look and feel to the combat. This isn't a bad thing though, as Hades is best in class, and despite the influence, the game manages to match the look of the first title. From my time with the demo, the combat felt really good, and the spell combination mechanic was still a lot of fun. The big addition for the sequel is co-op, with up to 4 players able to play together at once, which should lead to some manic combat. Wizards of Legend 2 arrives on Steam Early Access October 3rd.
Champion. A master.
No. A legend.
Phoenix Springs is a game with a very unique look, a modern point-and-click adventure set in a striking neo-noir world. You are reporter Iris Dormer, who finds herself exploring ancient ruins and interrogating a rich cast of characters after reconnecting with her estranged brother, who has subsequently gone missing in the desert oasis of Phoenix Springs. I'm a big fan of investigation-style games, and the art style of this title allows for something that stands out from the crowd and conveys a certain sense of strangeness. It's one of those titles that I love to highlight in these lists. Phoenix Springs slides onto PC October 7th.
I will never stop looking for answers.
Guild Saga Vanished Worlds is a turn-based RPG that developers Ocelot say is heavily inspired by the classics of the genre. The game features deep and strategic combat, strong pixel art, and a focus on telling a story. Choices hold weight in the realm of Arda, so make your decisions wisely. As you journey through the game, you will meet companions who have their own backstory and personalities that you can explore, forming bonds outside of battle. As well as fighting, you'll get to make your own potions and cook food to help give you the edge in combat. It's a heady mix, and I can't help being reminded of the classics of the CRP genre with this title. Guild Saga Vanished Worlds enters Steam Early Access October 10th. Up next is pixel art action RPG Drova Forsaken Kin, a title with dark grim overtones and the mysticism of Celtic mythology. Set within a handcrafted open world where your choices and actions shape the environment, you are part of a society that has discovered the power to capture the spirits that govern nature and rule over them instead. However, the spirits have fought back, and now society is divided on which path to take, and the side you choose to represent will impact the entire story. The game features what the developers are calling a flow-based combat system, with a variety of combos and weapons to use, as well as crafting, trading and questing. Whilst the mechanics are fairly standard for the genre, it is the world and the look that holds the most appeal with this game. Drova Forsaken Kin comes to all the consoles and PC October 15th. Our next title is the second game from the developers of indie darling Gris. Neva is a story about a young woman and her lifelong bond with a wolf. Together they embark on an emotionally charged journey through a rapidly dying world. Featuring a similarly arresting art style to their previous title, developers Nomada Studio clearly hope to elicit a reaction from players as they experience the growth of the relationship between Alba and her wolf cub as they adventure together through the game. It's a title that is sure to be full of emotions, and only you will know whether that is going to gel with you or not. Neva arrives on all the consoles and PC October 15th. Next up, we have Streets of Rogue 2, which is my pick of the month. The original Streets of Rogue was a unique game in which solo developer Matt Dabrowski set out to create a systems-driven roguelike, where every action had a reaction, and whilst it did stumble occasionally, it mostly succeeded. In this sequel, Matt has decided to stick with the formula but broaden it out into an open world setting. This allows for even more freedom and of course mayhem as you interact with the various systems in a larger world. Like its predecessor, Streets of Rogue 2 features dozens of classes with various unique traits and playstyles, meaning the choices the player has are vast. The ultimate goal is to overthrow the corrupt president. How you do that though is totally up to you, and you can even bring friends along for the ride this time. I was a big fan of the original game, and the sequel looks to be building on what made the first game special, and I can't wait to play it. Streets of Rogue 2 comes to Steam Early Access October 22nd. Our penultimate game for October is Cabernet, a 2D narrative RPG set in a 19th century Eastern European inspired world. As the player, you guide Lisa, a young vampire as she starts her new unlife. Featuring freeform gameplay, it is up to you how you spend your time. Will you embrace your new life as a vampire and give in to the world of decadence and intrigue that entails, or will you try to hold on to your humanity? In order to feed and stay alive, you must learn about your prey, so that you will be able to learn them somewhere safe and secluded. Enhance skills such as music and arts and literature and writing in order to better snare your prey. I find the premise of this game very intriguing. Few games focus down on how you go about feeding as a vampire. Mostly it is all brute force, but here that is not an option. And the added morality system will hopefully keep things feeling fresh as you hone your hunting skills. Cabernet slips its way onto PC October 24th.
I tell myself that I want to help them, but I must hunt. And Lord, it tastes so good.
Finally for October, we have Flint, Treasure of Oblivion. This is a pirate-themed tactical RPG with what the developers' Savage Level say is a strong original narrative. You play as Captain Flint, who, assisted by his crew, sets sail for a mysterious treasure. Featuring a mix of classic swordplay and more fantastical abilities, combat is a mix of your classic turn-based gameplay and cards, which you use to trigger skills and abilities in order to influence the fight with dice throws. I do like a good pirate-themed game. The mix of cards and dice combat sounds intriguing, and telling the story through comic book panels is a neat touch. Flint, Treasure of Oblivion sails onto PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S, October 24th. And that's your lot for October. Some really good looking games this month. Let me know in the comments below which are your favourites. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out, and I appreciate anyone who takes the time to do it. If it's your first time here, maybe check out some of my other videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.